What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWest 3 Raw TV. We got a special edition here. I'm actually in Chattanooga, Tennessee at Junior Nationals. I am the host of the live stream. First of all, let's fix this fucking camera angle. Make that shit square. All right, now that we're squared up. I am the host of the live stream, and I'm here for the weekend. And I didn't vlog today because there was just so much going on, and it was just more of the same of yesterday. So I'm actually going to shoot this video because I read some of the comment sections on some of the videos that I put up recently. And an interesting thing now is, now that my channel has shrunk back down again, because it was really big at one point, excuse me, it seems like most of the trolls have disappeared from the comment section. So it's actually people having good conversations, actually having open conversations about a lot of things, as opposed to a lot of the trolling that was going on there before. And of course, I put out the video that had to do with the testosterone, which I get so sick. I mean, I don't know. I think that people, because my video is a certain length, they only watch like 3 or 4 minutes of it. And they kind of make up the rest of their own. They argue about it. And I'm just like, whatever. But I started reading some things in there, and I realized there's a lot of new people. Like when I make these videos about Greg Douchebag or Duchette or whatever his name is, when I make videos about people like this, new people come to my channel because they're fans of his, right? And they somehow think he reinvented the fucking wheel for some reason. I don't know how. You're like, well, Greg, listen, I'll give you a little bit of history of myself for those of you that are new. I started this back in 2010. Before anybody was doing this shit on YouTube, I was the first person. I did it before Dave Palumbo and almost got my channel taken down. I walked into a pharmacy in Mexico, picked up the different steroids, and started explaining what these different steroids did. I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't telling anybody to take them. I had a disclaimer on everything. I showed what steroids were, what they were being used for, what they looked like, what in the pharmacy, the prices, everything. I showed all that stuff. And it was removed within about, I'd say about 3 or 4 days. And I was told that if I put anything like that back up again, that my channel would be taken down, deleted, and I wouldn't be able to start another one. Like that's what YouTube had said to me. And my channel was just starting to take off at that point, and I was doing talks. Like they think Greg Duchette all of a sudden, like Greg Duchette, more place, but they talk about steroids. Listen, go back, look at my videos. I put up videos about things like Tremolo before they had even picked up a fucking camera. I put up videos about clenbuterol before they'd even fucking tried it. My clenbuterol video was actually used in a Canadian news network when they were doing a story about clenbuterol and performance-enhancing drugs. My video was on that thing. I had people calling me from Canada going, dude, you're on TV. Like they're using your video in reference because it's now a reference for clenbuterol. So I was putting up stuff about these drugs. I was talking about it. I showed them to people like 15 years ago before anybody even thought about it. And at the time, there was only a few other people that had started doing it, like Rich Piana and a few other people. They're actually talking about what they were doing now. I talked about what I did in the past. I wasn't doing anything at that time. I had retired from bodybuilding. I wasn't doing any of the drugs. So I was talking about things I had done in the past, and I was very open with that. And I think people need to realize that the reason why Greg Duchette, More Plates, More Dates, and any of these guys are doing it now is because people like me did it first. We took the chances. We came out and did something that nobody else was doing. We took the hits where our channels were being taken down. My videos right now that are clenbuterol and Tremolo, they have big numbers on them. You go over there and look at them, they're not monetized by me, but when you click on them, you see an ad. YouTube demonetized them and said that I can't put monetization on them, then they monetize them and take the money. Unlike the guys nowadays that everything just gets thrown by the wayside because it's okay now, it's accepted now. I was doing this shit before it was accepted. And I don't think people realize that. They look now and they say, well, you only got 2,000 views on a video, and you only have X amount of subscribers on the thing. Go back to when I was doing this. People weren't hitting 100,000 subscribers. I did. It wasn't like all these guys now. They put up some shit that it's just drama shit that's driven. We were doing original content. And we had people that were finding these things, unlike the people now that they're repeating the things we did. How many times are you going to talk about Tremolo? I already did it 10 years ago. So why are they talking about it again? There's nothing new they're going to fucking say. Like Tremolo hasn't changed in the last 10 years. Nothing has changed about how it works. Nothing has changed about its action. Nothing has changed about how you inject it. Nothing. Like they're rehashing the stuff that we already did, right? So without people like me blazing that trail for you, you don't have shit. There is no Greg Duchette. Back then, YouTube was, people took their cameras, they took videos of their cat falling out of the cat tree and shit. I took my camera, stuck it there. Mark Lobliner took his camera, stuck it there. Rich Piana actually had someone follow him around with the camera, but when the dynamic of having a camera like this, just sitting down talking with whatever in the background, that wasn't being done back then. People like myself, Mark Lobliner, people like that used to do that, and that's why people like More Plates, More Dates, Greg Duchette are doing it. That was our format. We were the ones that were originally did it. Without us, these wouldn't exist. And I don't need to have recognition. I don't need any of that shit. But I look at it and I'm like, this is how delusional it is. People think that, things that they see now, that they haven't come back from the past, right? It's the same thing with this supplement. Testosterone was around before and it tanked, and they didn't know anything about it because they're completely clueless. They were still shitting their diapers at the time. Next thing you know, it comes up now, and oh, this is a great thing, right? Greg Duchette was running around circles, shitting himself, didn't do anything on YouTube. Nobody wanted to be around him at all. He found a niche doing the same things that we did, the same things that we did, talking about the same shit we talked about, repackages it and finds a whole new group of people because I'm not doing it anymore. I don't need to do that stuff anymore. I already did it. It's already on my channel. So why would I do it again? Boston Lloyd. I was doing shit like Boston Lloyd before Boston Lloyd was doing it. I was using insulin when Boston was still wiping his fucking nose in 4th grade. Like, there was so much stuff that went on that I understand, because I think that now in the position of when I was like these people that are arguing with me now, but I don't know anything, I'm stupid, I'm copying them, and Greg Duchette's awesome. I was like them. I was like you. If you see this, I was like you. I was the younger guy looking at the older guys being like, these guys are fucking out of touch with reality. They're stupid. They don't understand the new science. They don't understand the new way to use stuff. They don't understand anything. They're fucking dinosaurs. And now I realize that these guys that were older were trying to fucking help me. They're trying to get me not to make the mistakes they did. And I only know that from personal experience because I'm in that position now, right? So I understand that you young guys out there acting like a bunch of knuckleheads, you're going to do that because that's what it is to be young. Some of you out there will listen. Those people that are listening, these videos are for you. These are for the ones that don't want to make those mistakes, don't want to hurt themselves, don't want to go through the bullshit, don't want to put someone like Duchette on the pedestal. This has been like fucking, I've been on YouTube since 2010, doing a video a fucking day. I've traveled the entire fucking world, met people that are, I don't like to call them fans, but had followers line up to meet me and shake my hands and stuff. I don't see Duchette, more plates, more dates. I don't see any of doing that, right? Before anybody was paying me to do it, I was paying out of my pocket to go meet you guys face to face. Like, the things that we did are not the same nowadays. Everybody just wants to sit down, make a video, get a bunch of followers to make money from it. We didn't do it to make money. It wasn't about money. Back then, you didn't even know you could make fucking money. Matter of fact, these new guys wouldn't even be doing it if you couldn't make money. They're doing it specifically to make money. We did it to get information out. We did it because we liked making the videos. We did it because we thought we'd be able to help people, right? So one of the things that I saw that kind of threw me off was, well, Jerry, you're talking about taking creatine and loading it. There's no data. There is no data saying that you can load it. And I'm like, hang on a second. You need data? You have thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of bodybuilders and actual people that didn't even do bodybuilding that loaded their creatine for about 10 fucking years straight. And in that time is when everybody saw the great results of creatine. In that time is what launched creatine as being an effective supplement. In that time is what you saw people in the gym training hard, sticking to their diets, not doing this dumb IFYM shit, not doing these fucking stupid workouts, just get the volume, working out for like fucking 5 hours a day with your camera, right? Taking your 3 grams of fucking creatine. We're out there loading the creatine. We tried loading it with a high glycemic carb index also. Like grape juice was one thing that we used to use. We tried to do this so many different ways, and we found different ways that the creatine worked better. You guys nowadays go over and you look at a fucking screen and go, oh, this is what I do, and that's what the data says, so I'll never do anything like that again. Instead of going out there and being like, Jerry, there's no data, why don't you go, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Why don't you go out there and stop looking for a paper and go, okay, creatine, when it first came out, how did they use it? Where do you think that information came from where it first came out? You think that people just made it up? It was experimented with. It was trials that they did with it. It was data that came out that you can't find because it's buried so far back that all this new shit says, oh, take 3 grams, take 5 grams. And what happens is creatine has gotten to the point now where so many places produce it and it's so cheap, it is not done the same as it used to be. The quality is absolutely not the same, and you're taking even less of it now. And I see people all the time, I like creatine, I like creatine. What are you getting from it? Because you don't look any fucking different. Let me see your logbook. And I have a logbook. So how the fuck do you know that your weights are increasing in the gym? How do you know your performance is changing? If you don't look any different, right? Did you go get a fucking DEXA scan? Like, what do you have to prove that this is happening? Because that's what we did. Caliper readings, DEXA scans. We did log books that we kept. Like, we could track what was happening when we were loading the creatine and see the results. You guys are not doing any of this shit now other than taking a fucking pre-workout that has like 2 or 3 grams in it, and you assholes that are taking an intra-workout, your creatine, or mixing your fucking pre-workouts and leaving it sitting down, as soon as you mix creatine with any kind of water, if it's warm, it immediately starts to break down into creatinine, and it's not absorbable. Which means half of you out there with your little 3 grams of fucking creatine that are in your pre-workouts that mix your shit up and sip it on the way to the gym, most of that creatine by the time it gets in your system is turned into creatinine, you piss it right out. You're not even fucking utilizing it. So although you're paying for creatine, you're not even using it. Like, I can't even wrap my head around it. You guys don't understand. You take the creatine, you put it in the liquid, stir it, and chug it down real fast. It is going to start breaking down as soon as it hits that water and while it's in your body being digested. The idea is to try to get it digested before it fully breaks down and intact, right? I bet you don't even know that So the way that I'm seeing people like, my new intro workout has 5 grams of creatine, 3 grams of creatine. You're going to let that shit sit through your whole workout an hour. What do you think is going to happen to it? You think it's not breaking down? Fucking, I can't even wrap my head around. I'm like, you guys know so little about all of this stuff. But yet you turn around and act like you know so much. And the people that actually do, like myself, Mark Lobliner, you guys think that we're fucking nuts, we're dinosaurs, we have no idea. We are the ones that were around when this shit was invented. We are the ones that were fucking using this stuff and have used it multiple times and tracked the data ourselves to try to figure out what the best way to use this shit was. Because when it came out, there was nobody on there selling you 3 grams of creatine telling you this is what it does, right? When fucking steroids were around back then, we didn't have these things to tell us how to do it. We took the things. We actually took the things and then tracked on how it worked to see what it did for our bodies. And we have all these people that are just sitting there that have never done anything. And my thing is like, look, if you're not speaking from experience, you're speaking from a book, you're not really speaking in knowing what you're talking about. You're regurgitating information. That's not the same thing as actually knowing how it works from experience. It's 2 different things. The idea is you read the book first and you go apply it, right? Or you read the data, you read the information, whatever, and you go apply it. When you apply it, you may see things that don't make sense compared to what the directions told you to do to the data. And then you go, okay, this doesn't make sense. Let me see what happens if I take a little more. I take a little less. I take it every other day. I take it before workouts. I take it after workouts. When do you take your creatine? Right? Why? Well, let's break that down. When would you take your creatine? Most people take it in their pre-workouts, right? Well, if I have it in my body, then I have more energy to push and I can work out harder. Okay, that's logic, right? Yeah, okay, logic, but logic doesn't dictate very much with you people because when's the best time to get your body to have a super compensated cellular, an optimized cell is after your workout, right? After your workout is when anabolism happens. That's when you have that cell super hydrated if you can, right? So why are you not taking your creatine afterwards to superhydrate that cell, make it more anabolic, help your body recover, right? You take your glycerol before your workout. Why? Because we better pump. When do you want to superhydrate that cell? After the workout for the recovery process so you can build muscle faster. And you guys are all over here talking about everything, pre-workout. And they take that pre-workout and they shove everything in it and you're completely missing the post-workout. Completely missing the fucking post-workout, which is 10 million times more important than pre-workout for actual muscle gains. Which is no wonder why you guys look like a bunch of fucking pencil necks and nothing ever changes with your physiques. Like you have no concept of how this stuff works and you have all the information at your fingertips, but you're listening to Greg Duchette or whatever his name is. You're listening to people like him and other people that, yeah, they may have gotten good physiques, but guess what? They loaded up on steroids. You could do the same thing and have the same fucking physique. It's like, it's not rocket science, right? Then there are guys that have short-lived. You got these younger guys that are not taking this stuff anymore. Why? They hurt themselves. They fuck themselves up. They're getting off, whatever the case may be, right? People took steroids for 30 fucking years and they're still taking them. Why? Because they're obviously doing it the right way, not the way you guys, and let's not get too much into it, but let's throw some more information out there because I feel like you got to lead by example and you have to tell people the truth so they understand you're telling the truth. 9 out of 10 you out there right now thinking about steroids and know about steroids, think about front-loading my steroids with my orals. Dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. I take my D-ball as soon as I start my cycle because it kicks in and I feel that first and it gives me that jump start. So what's your long-term goal? Is to have a good pump in the beginning when you start taking shit? Or is to put on a lot of muscle? Well, probably to put on a lot of muscle if you're taking steroids, right? So let me ask you a question. Why would you take it before when you go on your injectables and your body starts to max out, your receptors get saturated, and you start to hit a point where they're not working anymore? And you have 2 choices. You can either raise the doses or come off. Well, doesn't it make more sense when your body starts to crap out at the end, you take that 3 weeks where it's starting to plateau and throw the orals in the end, where now it gives you a boost of anabolism, which actually makes your scale weight go up and makes you stronger at the end of the cycle after you've already maxed out. Normally, when you take them at the beginning, you max out your body weights at this point. When you do it the way that I'm talking about, the reverse shotgun, it goes up at the end. You gain more muscle mass. You can't even comprehend that because someone told you to do something one way, but you never thought in your head, how does this actually work? How does the body work? How does recovery work? How does muscle growth work? Muscle growth doesn't happen without recovery. How do these steroids work? Well, if I put them in the beginning, I got to pull those orals out. I can't keep them there for 20 weeks. But if I put them in at the end, I get even bigger at the end when my body's plateauing, when I'm almost ready to come off. So when you come off, even what you lose a certain amount of muscle, that extra you put on at the end, you wind up retaining more by the time you go back on your cycle. You take them in the beginning, when you come off at the end, you've actually gained less muscle, you lose more muscle, and you're starting further back when you start your next cycle. Like, you guys don't even understand that. Like, you have no concept of how that happens, but you're telling me that I don't have any concept of how creatine works. And I'm like, we need to have a talk. But I get it. You guys are the young bucks. You don't want to listen to the old heads. I get it. I was there. I was absolutely there. But now I'm kind of in that transitional phase where I'm becoming one of the old heads, right? I'm not the young buck anymore. I'm an old head, but I still understand you guys, right? I think the older guys back when I was younger, they would just get fed up with us and be like, "Pfft," and just blow us off. I keep fighting for you guys. I keep coming back and trying to shove things in your face and be like, listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. When I get made fun of, I get called stupid, I get old, I get called broken down, washed up, has been, no more, whatever. I still keep coming back to give you guys this stuff because I know you fucking need it. I know some of you will listen. And when you do, you will learn a lot of stuff on your own and become a better, more well-rounded bodybuilder or person in general because you'll start thinking outside that box. People that are hitting me up that talk about Duchette and more plates, more dates, all those guys are thinking inside the box, guys. They are not thinking outside the box. I'm just telling you right now, I've watched their stuff. They regurgitate the same shit over and over again. That's all over every fucking channel, and it's never different. At least if you watch one of my Callum videos, you watch one of my videos about something else that's going on right now, the WFN scandal. The WFN scandal, the steroid scandal, I put that video out. Richard Rodriguez, those scandal it's about, contacted me personally, said thanks for putting out the video because it changed his perspective because nobody had ever said the things that I said in that video. And that is what my videos are like. I say things that nobody else says or nobody wants to say, and it's a completely different opposite side of the coin because most people are so nearsighted, they can't see both sides of the coin. They see one side. They're so locked inside this box, all they can see is what's in the box. They can't go outside the box. I mean, shit, inside your house, if you only knew what was inside your house and not what's in the rest of the world, how fucked up would that be? You know there's a whole world outside. Why? Because you go out there. Now, there are people that don't leave their homes, right? Those people that are such introverts, they don't leave their homes. They don't know what the world has to offer. They don't know what life has to offer. It's the same thing with this stuff. If you're constantly looking at testosterone or steroids or clen or creatine or whatever from the same view that everybody else is telling you, right? You watch 10 videos and they all say the same fucking thing. I would say, you know what? Go look for something else. Do it yourself or look for somebody else saying something else about it. And that's what a lot of people do. Like I have people say, Jerry, what do you think about testosterone? And I know in their heart of hearts, they've heard everybody say it's good. Oh, no, it works on More Plates, More Dates sells it, and Greg Duchette sells it, and oh, they all sell it. It's great. Well, then why are you asking me? Because deep down inside, you know those motherfuckers are inside of a box. You know they're not going anywhere. You know they're all going to regurgitate the same shit because they're all using Google. It's the same shit. It's not experience. It's nothing more than going on Google and researching for 10 minutes, looking at the first couple of pages on Google, and then running with it from there, right? That's what they're doing, and everybody regurgitates the same shit. But then you come to me because you know, first of all, I might go watch their videos and say, what are they saying? Interesting. And I'll go and I'll research that shit for weeks. I'll dig into that. I'll go fucking 20 pages back on Google. I'll call friends that I haven't talked to in 20 years, ask them what they know about it. I have scientists that work at NIH that I know and that I've trained throughout the years. I can call them and ask them about it. I have lawyers that I mean, there's so many people in my area that I live in DC that deal with so many different things, not just in the bodybuilding community, that I can call these people about things that have to do with bodybuilding and get another point of view that nobody else is talking about on YouTube because they're literally just going on Google and then making up shit that they've heard over and over again from other people. That's it. Rather than going to actual sources or actual experts, they just sit there and they go, that sounds pretty good on Google. And they regurgitate to you and you go, that sounds pretty good. And then all you guys are like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup," like talking parrots. You're saying the same shit. Then I come along and talk about creatine being loaded and everybody loses their shit because it's impossible. It's impossible. I'm like, get in the DeLorean time machine, go back to friggin' 1993, get on the creatine that they had back then, load it like that, do it for a couple of months and see how much better it works. You'd be shocked as fuck. And creatine is so cheap nowadays, you shouldn't have a problem with buying 500 grams, 1,000 grams, and then loading it for 5 or 6 days just to see what happens and going on a maintenance dose, right? Take it before and after your workout for the maintenance dose, meaning take 5 grams before, 5 grams after, not just 3 grams before. Like if you take it long enough for a saturate, well, then why the fuck aren't you getting the results that we used to get, right? We weren't on drugs. That was long before I ever took drugs, long before any of my friends took drugs. We were using these things a different way that worked. Things change nowadays, and I do believe that the old heads back in the day that were telling me stuff I should have listened to more, and I'm hoping that these videos do land on people's ears that will listen and do the research for themselves and do the experiments for themselves. Be safe, be smart. Remember, don't stay inside the box. Think outside the box. I'm Bias3 and I approve this message, and we're out.